Hello and welcome to this video on renewable energy resources. We looked in our last video at fossil fuels, which are non-renewable. What is the difference? What are renewable resources? They're simply energy sources that are replaced by natural processes faster than humans can consume the resources. So in this video, we are going to look at some of these renewable energy resources, energy from the sun, from water, from wind, from inside the earth, and some alternative fuels from hydrogen and biomass. So let's take a look first at energy from the sun. Despite its being renewable, only 1% of the energy in the U.S. is produced by using energy from the sun or solar power. There's several ways to produce this power, and one way is to use a photovoltaic cell. Here's an example of one of these cells, and the way these work, there are two layers right here in this cell, this electron-rich semiconductor layer and an electron-poor layer. And when sunlight strikes the surface of the solar cell, electrons flow through an electric circuit from the electron-rich layer to the electron-poor material. That process of converting radiant energy from the sun directly to electrical energy is only about 7 to 11% efficient. Also, transforming radiant energy into electrical energy using solar cells is more expensive than transforming thermal energy into electrical energy by combustion. But in remote areas, solar cells are actually much more practical in places where power lines are not available. What about energy from water? We call this hydroelectricity. That's where electric current is produced from the energy of moving water. And right now, about 9% of the electrical energy in the United States comes from hydroelectric power plants. Hydroelectric power plants are essentially converting mechanical energy into electrical energy. There's almost no pollution. They're also about twice as efficient as fossil fuel burning or nuclear power plants. And hydroelectric power can also be produced by ocean waves. Here are some examples of underwater turbines that are generating the equivalent of 10 nuclear power plants worth of electricity. How about energy from the wind? Well, we use windmills to convert this energy into electrical energy, wind energy. It's one of the great benefits is it does not pollute air or water. Unfortunately, there are some drawbacks. They can disrupt bird migration patterns, and the energy cannot be stored without the use of batteries, so it does require other technology in conjunction with it. But here is a picture of a windmill farm. What about energy from inside the earth? The term for that is geothermal energy. It would be energy contained in and around magma from inside of the earth. The efficiency of geothermal power plants is about 16%. They're converting that geothermal energy into electrical energy, and it is considered a clean energy, even though geothermal power plants can produce sulfur-based compounds. Pumping the water that condenses from steam back into the ground reduces this pollution, so it's called a clean energy. One of the limitations is limited to volcanically active areas where magma is close to the surface. Here is a picture of a geothermal power station in the Philippines. And last, let's take a look at alternative fuels. First of all, hydrogen. Fuel cells are a possible alternative energy source. A fuel cell just behaves kind of like a battery. And in a hydrogen fuel cell, hydrogen is combined with oxygen in the air to generate electrical energy, water, heat. And there are several problems, however, with using hydrogen fuel cells. First, obtaining the hydrogen requires more energy than the energy that is released by the fuel cell reaction. Second, hydrogen fuel cells are built from expensive platinum parts, so they would be very costly. And last, hydrogen is dangerous and difficult to store, and so there is a serious lack of hydrogen fueling stations. Biomass is another alternative fuel. that is definitely of interest to us. It's one of the oldest energy sources. And biomass is basically renewable organic matter of any kind: wood, soy, corn, sugarcane, fibers, rice hulls, animal manure. It can be burned in the presence of oxygen, which converts stored chemical potential energy into thermal energy. And this is sort of a silly little picture showing potential alternative fuels. Please don't do this in your automobile. You definitely need a special engine that is made to accommodate biomass. Advanced ideas? How have the use of renewable resources in the U.S. changed in the last decade? How has this affected our dependence on fossil fuels? Choose a renewable resource to investigate further, explore the advantages and disadvantages in depth, or make a chart or diagram that compares and contrasts the advantages and disadvantages of all different kinds of energy resources. Maybe you have another idea that you'd like to come up with. I look forward to seeing what you come up with, and we'll see you in class.